237.
Hello, hashtag Verse TV family, and welcome. It's week 237. I'm Aaron Mack, and today let's, get right into it, shall we? I believe we shall. So, the question that gin, vodka, or tequila? None. And wow. Well, I am going to say this. I don't drink. I don't. Especially now, post MS diagnosis. Like, I never drank. And I have personal reasons for never drinking. But I didn't even drink before the MS diagnosis. But then post MS diagnosis, hearing that, oh, well, actually, drinking can potentially have negative effects on people with MS, I was like, okay, well, I don't drink anyway. So there it is. And I remember one time, I'm telling the story, but nobody is going to know that it's you because I'm not giving that much information. But I remember one time I was set to go out with some friends, and one of my friends wanted us to all drink before going out. And I think everybody else might have. We were in our 20s, because now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, yeah, that's kind of wrong. But I was like, no, I don't drink at all. And I remember he actually, honestly, he got kind of upset with me. He's like, why won't you drink with the rest of us? I was like, I have personal reasons. I don't drink. I don't, darn those personal reasons. I don't want to hear it. What do you mean? I was like, I'm sorry. I just don't drink. Sorry. And that's actually not funny. But I didn't drink. And suffice it to say, I still don't. Still didn't. Never did. Anyway, I don't hate. I'm not going to say that. I'm actually just going to move into my song. The song that I have today, it's a newer song. Oh, yes. So it's 2023's brand new release. And the song is entitled, it's actually the first track on this album. It's entitled, I Really Wanted to Make a Rap Album by guess who? Andre 3000. And you know what he's doing? He has made an entire album of like peaceful Zen music to a flute because he's a flutist. And you know what's so crazy? A couple of things really quickly. I like the flute, and I don't know what it is, but it's just something about the, listening to like peaceful music, like when you tell Google, hey, give me some peaceful, relaxing music. Or what was the big one? Flutes and wind and rain. I would love that as my peaceful music. And I would just fantasize that my man is playing his flute while I'm wrapped in his arms. That might be a complicated thing to do. I get it. I get it. But love, because of love. Because of love. Anyway, oh my gosh, I have a million songs, y'all. But that's one of my things. And yes, I do acknowledge that. I, I'm not even going to talk about that, y'all. I'm not. But what I will talk about is it was so interesting because I was talking with a friend of mine before, and he's like, "Yeah, Andre 3000's new album is just him playing the flute, like real Zen music." I'm like, "Oh, really? Okay, I'm intrigued." And coincidentally, I went to the barber shop after, and guess what they were playing? That and this particular song. And I was like, "Is that Andre 3000's new album?" He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Oh, thank you." And what was so interesting is in the barber shop, people actually who were waiting on haircuts and stuff actually had their heads down and just relaxing. And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, this is powerful." Like, what? In the barber shop, just people with their heads down. Multiple people waiting for their haircut. Because normally people would be up doing all sorts of stuff at the barber shop or having much in terms of conversations. But just from that brief 12-minute song, like everybody, poop, was just like, "Yeah, this is a moment too." Yeah. Oh, I love it. Thank you, Andre 3000. That's beautiful. Yes, we need more peace in the world. Um, and Nesby's, I don't think she's the first to sing it, but she sang it on I think that's her debut album, at least her debut album that came after Sounds of Blackness. The song This Day. Lord, we need your love, we need your peace. That's what the song is about. And that's what I say we need in this world. And thank you, Andre 3000, because wow, you were able to get people in a barber shop to stop talking about that woman's butt and her, well, huh. But get people in a barbershop to not have conversations about that stuff. So us gays think, and when I say us gays, I'm not including you. I don't know your sexuality. It doesn't matter. But gays like me, same gender loving people like me, can be in the barbershop in peace and not have to hear this. Last thing, I'm sorry, how many minutes? 12 minutes. I remember my barber, uh, they were talking about some woman, and the guy was like, "Yeah, she was dragging a wagon." And my barber was like, "She was dragging a wagon?" Just like that with the eyes. But she was dragging a wagon. Like, y'all hetero men know what y'all do in the barber shops. Anyway, all right. So, are we ready to get this show on the road? Hashtag First TV family. I'll read the comments. Stop it. One day, share, subscribe, and share again. Thank you so very much. Very much. Thank you.
Hashtag wedding covers at LGBTQ Niger. Hashtag Verse TV 237A.
How do we mitigate against homosexuals marrying straight women? Because this issue is getting out of hand. In this community alone, countless women have written to me, painfully ranting about how they found out this situation after their marriage. I also received a couple of emails. In fact, one particular email where the woman was begging me. She said, "Ife, please help me beg this man to leave my husband alone." These men, go ahead, marry these women and give all sorts of excuses as to why they cannot consummate their marriage, making these women feel so frustrated that they begin to think, "Oh, am I the problem?" So where do we draw the line? Because of societal and family pressure and the fear of being judged, these men use a whole human being, in this case women, as a cover, then they go on and continue their lifestyle. Is this a good enough reason? It can't be now. What do we as a society have to do to stop these men from hiding under marriage and deceiving innocent women? I am as unhappy and confused about this situation as all the many women who have written to me. So I'm wondering, is this a moral situation where the real issue is deceit? Or would all of this stop if homosexuality was legalized? Let me know what you think.
I have some thoughts on that. Yes, ma'am. And I remember years ago, I was watching the Jeff Koinange show. Jeff Koinange is out of Kenya. Jeff Koinange is to Kenya what David Letterman and Jay Leno are to the United States. I'll put it like that. And on his show, he had Binyavanga Wainaina, who is an acclaimed, globally acclaimed author and activist who's Kenyan, who was Kenyan, God rest his soul, and also a female ally on this. I'll call her an ally, and forgive me, I don't recall her accolades. I'm sure she had many, but she was like an ally, and they were talking about this very topic in terms of the fact that women can potentially find themselves in situations where they are married to homosexual men, or some even won't accept bisexual men. But that's kind of another story. But they were and one thing I didn't say that's actually very relevant, Binyavanga Wainaina, I did say that. He's openly gay. And that was, he was exceptional. And they were talking about women in those situations. And it's like, yeah, if we would only just legalize homosexuality. The continent of Africa is not just one place, okay? So different places handle different things differently, all right? Since Africa was divided into, 54 countries? I'm not gonna go there, but yes. And what intrigued me about Kenya is that they are a little more, or at least they were, under former President Uhuru Kenyatta. I'm not sure where they are with Raila Odinga, the current president, but under former President Uhuru Kenyatta, it seemed like word on the street was generally, we should legalize gay marriage, or not, no. The discussion wasn't gay marriage. The discussion was gay people just being able to live as openly gay, which is another thing. But they were like, we should legalize it. It shouldn't be on the books because we should legalize it. And it's my understanding, my foreign understanding, that yes, it was on the books, but it wasn't like one of those seeking to find people to punish under that law and put in jail for 14 years and or murder. And it is like that in some of the countries in Africa, unfortunately, yes. But Kenya is, or was at least, not one of them. Now, our friend of the show, Storyteller, friend and guest on the show, Storyteller, who is Nigerian, he said when it comes to the whole gay thing, and he's hetero, he's like, what needs to change first is the hearts of people. Before you change legislation, you need to change the hearts of the people. And he actually gave a really interesting example of, he put it in our face. He said, for example, in America, you all made it illegal to be racist and bad and all that stuff, but you hadn't changed the hearts of everyone. So it's like there are still people who do racist and bad things. It's taboo, but it still happens. And that's because the hearts weren't changed. Now, I do feel that changing legislation is perhaps one of the necessary steps in the right direction. But yes, he's absolutely right. You have to change the hearts first. And yeah, how much? Yeah, there is. I've spoken constantly ad nauseum about the woman who I say is the woman I would have married if I was a heterosexual man. Absolutely. And she was absolutely beautiful. And I remember one time, like when I was back in Laurel, like I was going on a walk around the city, and I just saw her smile everywhere I looked. And I was like, wow, I like her. I've really got to be honest with her about this about the fact that I like her and I like men. And it's like, yeah, you know. But she was like, no, we can just be friends. And I think that might have kind of been for the best, especially considering what is in the not too distant future, 40 years. Anyway, but yeah. And it's like, truth be told, I don't really know how that would have worked out with us, but that's where I was at that time. But all of that to connect to the fact that, would she have been one of those women who's like, what happened to my marital bed? I don't know. But I do know this. I don't have a lot of sex anyway. I don't. And would it have been one of those, you're not having sex with me because you like men? Well, I do like men, but I just don't have a lot of sex. I don't. That's true. TBT, TBH. And I've had other heterosexual friends that I've discussed this with, and one of my heterosexual friends, my hetero best friend, was like, Aaron, when I showed him a photo of her, he was like, Aaron, you fumbled that. She is beautiful. Oh my gosh. But another hetero friend of mine was like, Aaron, you just shouldn't have told her. You shouldn't have told her that you like men. You should have just been with her, procreated, because the world needs another you, and just dealt, And I feel that I made the right decision. Yes. So, how many minutes? Oh, okay. So my one sentence wrap up, Aaron's final thought is, yes, changing law is a good part, but we've got to change the global hearts and beliefs of people. And some people simply don't know that we are all human. But some people do know that. But some people simply don't know that we are all humans, that there is diversity in the human race, inherent diversity in the human race. The hashtag VersTV family, yes or no question. Do you blame mostly gay men for DL phenomenon, for the DL phenomenon? And my answer is, being a same gender loving man, no, I don't blame mostly DL men. I blame the hearts and minds of some people, plus xenophobia, making people live uncomfortably with differences and live in fear of differences. Anyway, hashtag Verse TV family, are we ready for the next topic? Yes? Comments? I know people don't comment. Anyway. But it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. That oh, I had a re-release. FYI, just FYI, I had a re-release of my for my 10-year anniversary of my debut album. Called, of course, I was about to say Life is But a Dream. No, called Patience is a Virtue, and by Aaron Mack, AARONMCK, and it came out 10 years ago. I wanted to release it right before my 30th birthday, but I was a little too late, and I ended up releasing it like shortly after my 30th birthday. Anyway, check it out. It's on SoundCloud. It used to be on DatPiff, but now it's on SoundCloud. And yes, I will be adding actually some of. I'm gonna pull a Mariah Carey. Yes, ooh, and I will add like bonus tracks to it from other songs that I've produced and stuff like that along the way and blah blah blah. I tell y'all, I'm a musician. Okay, yes, I am. All right, Phi Mu Alpha Sinfonia. Yes. Anyway, okay. A and B, share, subscribe, and share again, please and thank you.
Hashtag HeyShoreTV237 at LATV Queer. Hashtag VerseTV237B.
I was literally having lunch with my cousin the other day who has 2 sons, and she makes it a point to raise her children in a way where they do not even have to think about coming out. So they've had people come up to their kids and be like, oh my gosh, you're so cute, I bet you get all the girls. And she'll literally yell from the other room, or boys.
Yes.
Like it, just to make sure they know it doesn't matter. Either one, whichever, both, doesn't matter.
Oh, that's beautiful. So, some people take issue with flamboyant gays without acknowledging how very flamboyant heterosexuality is currently in the world, and inherently so. Hetero man comedian Hari Kondabolu actually explained this on one of his comedian specials. And I was like, huh, that's true. And he gave some examples of flamboyant heterosexuality, but that's another story. Anyway, share, subscribe, and share again. Are we ready for topic next? C.
Hashtag not hyperbolic at SRHR Hubs. Hashtag VerseTV237C.
Do you know what intersex is?
Oh, I don't. No.
So that's the I in LGBTQIA. 2% of our population is intersex. We don't test everyone that's born for what our chromosomes are. So there's XX and then there's XY, but then there's also a variation that's XXY. There's also there's like these multiple variations. There's 6 main ones that qualify someone as intersex. And so what happens is, and is that like if a kid is born intersex, doctors, they don't even mark that down. Like they will take the kid, they talk to the parent, and they say like whatever the genitalia most appears as, they're and literally one thing that I've learned and have been told is like doctors will literally say it's easier to dig a hole than build a pole. So most people that are born intersex, they will make into someone that looks biologically female, but these people will have to take hormones for their entire life. They have to have genital surgery, like on their genitals when they are babies. Intersex kids are specifically carved out. So in these bills, it says you can't commit, no genital mutilation, no hormones. Your kid must be the biological sex that they were born unless they are intersex. And then we must do genital surgery. We must prescribe hormones. We must enforce the binary. So that's, if you think I'm being hyperbolic right now, not you or just anyone watching, like do this research. Look up what intersex is.
All right. So I am a cisgender man and I'm cool with that. But I do connect and feel for the trans and intersex community largely, well, at least due in part to the fact that, yes, quiet as it's kept, I have gynecomastia, which is that thing that gives me man boobs. And I remember us actually even talking to the doctor when I was younger about potentially getting them removed because they're perky. They're perky. And the doctor was like, yeah, we'll just do 2 little slices underneath your boob and suck them out. And I was like, I think fortunately I found that disgusting. And I was like, no. But also I decided so here's why we went to the doctor. Because TBT, TBH, in grade school, my fellow classmates used to tease me a lot about it. You have titties. And I would walk around like hunched over. And my mom acknowledged that like it's got to be bad for my spine if I continue that, trying to hide my man boobs, walking around hunched over. So it would wet t-shirt anyway, oh my gosh. Aaron, I can be silly about it now. I'm remembering LaToya Luckett on the Terrell Grice show when she was like, therapy, y'all. And it's like, I didn't have therapy for that, but it is something that I was able to grow out of the concern of. And fortunately, right in time for my college thought sexual exploration days, because wouldn't you know it, a lot of gay men actually love man boobs. I'm sorry. Oh my gosh, I'm being so grotesque with y'all. I know. Bad. Anyway, let me stop. But yes, so I learned that in college. So it's like I was teased all the way from puberty up to then. But in college, it was like, hey, what's cooking? Good look. Stop. Okay. Oh my gosh. I'm going to do it. What's cooking? Good looking. And oh my gosh. Okay. It's not. But yes. Anyway, whatever, you guys. So I will say it's easier to dig a hole than to build a pole analogy to me was kind of a crass and gross to me. But I absolutely believe that doctors would say such things, it's like, ouch. And people get upset for whatever they are told to get upset about. And this is one of those things. And people just unresearched have just get upset about it. And people have mixed traits, bodily and sexuality and more. We're all mixed, not just racially. And well, okay, that's another topic for another day. But we're all mixed. We're all a mix of things. That's why some people come out with XY chromosomes, some people come out with XXY, like he was saying. And I will say this, I am an LGBT member, all of the letters. I'm every single one of them. I'm every homo. Anyway, oh my gosh. I'm every same gender loving. It's all, but see, even that's not accurate necessarily because I'm every alphabet community. Okay, that works. But I did not know what intersex was. I just was just like, I guess it's somebody in the middle, just using the the context clues of the word itself, intersex, and like enter in the middle. And that is what it is, yes. But I didn't realize I feel like the term hermaphrodite comes I should have looked that up before I go into all this. So suffice it to say, I believe that term has a negative connotation. So intersex is and feels and is more appropriate. Yes. So, but yeah, we're all somewhere in the middle with different things. There are different things that we have. We all have different things. Accept it, understand it. And like George Carlin said, this is my final thought. Like George Carlin said, critical thinking is important. Don't just think what you're told to think. And yeah, these people who are so anti-gender help laws, gender affirming laws, because they think in terms of people being 100% one thing, 100% the other, or 100% the other. And they just see things in terms of black and white, nothing in the middle. I'm not, okay, I do know, actually. So they just see things in terms of that, not acknowledging that there are people in the middle. And this is the thing. If there can be people in the middle physically, then don't you think that means there could be people in the middle with different brains that manifest things like sexuality differently for different people? Why don't we accept that? Why don't we accept, and I'm getting all emotional, I get so emotional, baby. But yes, why don't we accept that everybody is somewhere in the middle? Everybody's got a mix of something. We're all a little bit mixed, in our brains, in our bodies, whatever. Like again, me with my man boobs. I do have them, and I'm proud of them now. Yes. Darn it, you tried to make fun of me when I was a kid, but darn it, now let me stop. But yes, so that's my thing. Yeah, we're diverse. The hashtag VersTV family, yes or no question. Did you fully know about the world, about the meaning of intersex before this? And my answer is no, honestly, not really, no. But I understand. So here's the deal. While I didn't fully understand this concept of intersex before, I've always been of the, not always, no, but for the duration of my adulthood, I have felt that, yes, there are different people in the world. Yes, we need to love and accept people where they are and not try to make them change. Just love and accept them where they are. We're all at different places, y'all. Anyway, okay. So, next. Yeah, okay. When we make time, 'cause we make good time. All right now. Wait, that was C. So this is D. All right. Share, subscribe, and share again. Thank you very much.
Hashtag second chances at Greg Mathis Jr. Hashtag VerseTV237D.
Second chances do work. This weekend, I was honored to help tell my father, Judge Greg Mathis's inspiring life story, going from jail to judge in only 15 years. My father began his life as a street youth, caught up in Detroit's most notorious gang, the Earl Flynns, a product of his environment. My father was raised by a single mother working 2 jobs to survive and doing the best she could to raise 4 boys in the toughest housing projects of Detroit. Like many in America's marginalized communities, my dad did not have a fair shot. He grew up in a community with subpar schools, guns, and drugs dumped into his neighborhood. Not to mention a lack of employment opportunity and rampant discrimination. My dad was not supposed to make it out. The system would have had him become another statistic, in jail, dead, or stuck in a cycle of poverty. My father successfully fought to overcome the odds and make it out. But he wasn't alone in his journey. My dad would not have made it out without a compassionate judge to give him a second chance, programs like affirmative action that allowed him to get his law degree, and a strong mentor in the Reverend Jesse Jackson, and many other blessings from God along the way. My father is living proof that it's never too late to turn your life around, and that second chances do work. We're coming to more cities with this show soon because it's that important for people to see it. And I hope this project can continue to serve as a strong reminder that policy makes a difference. Investment in community works, second chances work. Can't wait for you all to see Don't Judge Me.
Well done, my brother. Well done.
Yes. 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 Second chances. Oh my gosh. I love it. It's beautiful. And sometimes, ooh, wow, no, I'm not gonna cry. Said anyway, but sometimes people do just need a good second chance. Like they've learned that mistake, and they just need that second chance. I don't remember who sings it. I apologize because for the longest time, my track had the wrong name. And then one day somebody's like, no, that's not. I think it's Vanessa Bell Armstrong, God of a Second Chance. Oh my gosh, that's a beautiful song. And I'm not going to lie, even one of my family members who is a self-proclaimed atheist enjoyed that song because he's like, yeah, you know, sometimes it's all about that second chance, you know? So yes, even though as a self-proclaimed atheist, he doesn't believe in the concept of God, he's like, Second chances. I get that. I'm down with that. Yes. Second chances. We And I'm not gonna lie, when they had the clips of the dude in the jumpsuit, that reminded me of my personal connection to people that I know who've been in those jumpsuits, and that made me, oh, that is so emotional. So emotion pulling. And yes, sometimes all the person needs is a second chance. A second, oh, don't make yourself cry, Aaron. Oh my gosh. But sometimes all that's necessary is that second chance and a good friend to believe in them. Believe in you. I believe in you. You can do it. I can do it. And wait a minute. So it looks like I didn't put it down. So although I might have, and I'm going to say it right now. Actually, no, I'm not, because I did write it down. So I'm going to stay in order. Yes. So, by the way, Greg Mathis Jr. has worked in DC politics, and his fiance, yes, fiance, is an engineer. So they are like the quintessence of a same gender loving power couple. And particularly with the fact that his fiance is an engineer, because they did some video together. They're in a show, I think it's called Mathis Family Values. I definitely, I need to see it, is what I need to do, is the long story short. But hearing they were doing a Instagram video, like on a couch together, and his fiance, soon to be husband, if not already husband, had his arm around Greg Mathis Jr. And I'm like, oh, yes, having a man. Yes, I love it. Anyway, but it reminded me of shortly after I graduated from college back in 2006, I met this dude who I met him through a friend. Okay. And I'm gonna like pull back on how much I reveal on stuff, because it might begin to reveal who I'm speaking of, possibly, or anyway. But yeah, so he liked me, he was my favorite, gorgeous thick dark chocolate. Oh my gosh. And I liked him as well. And he loved the idea of us, because I had just graduated and I had started my job. At that time, I was working in media sales. I was working for Heaven 600, and he was he was an engineer, and he was like, yeah, like we should be together, and we could be like a power couple. And that was my first time hearing the concept of a power couple. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, I like the sound of that. But ultimately, we didn't really do much of anything. But he was fine. Yes, he was. Okay. Yes. And anyway, I was going to say everything happens for a reason, but my former pastor explained that no, it's not everything happens for a reason, but it's that God can make reason out of anything. I know I'm talking real church to y'all today, I know, and I'm sorry for some, but hopefully y'all can follow me. So yes, you know, all of that to say the things that failed along the journey, I am okay because God Almighty is making sense out of it. And I am starting to see that sense. You know, oh my gosh. Okay. I can't keep going on and on. I go on and on and on and on. All right. So the hashtag Verse TV family, yes or no question is, have you ever gotten a second chance for which you are particularly grateful? And my answer, oof, yes, yes. And in love and life, yes, MS has tried to count me out. Yes. And I've reached some lows falling on my face. But I'm rebuilding, you guys. I'm rebuilding. Hallelujah. Yes. Life and love. Ooh. Why do y'all have me getting all anyway? So now back to Ian. It's going to restart, but that's okay with me because I love E. Share, subscribe, and share again. Thank you very much.
Hashtag CerebralTV237 at Trey N. Kennedy at Decolonized at The Globetrotter Guys. Hashtag VerseTV237E.
Holly, you're a really great writer, but we need something new and fresh. So if you don't give me something new and fresh by Christmas, we're gonna go with one of the Gen Z kids.
From the company that still tries to sell greeting cards.
I need a fresh start. I think I'm gonna go to rural Iowa.
Okay, well don't freaking complain to me when you can't find a good salon out there.
Oh, I'm not in New York City anymore. You're not gonna get far in those high heels, sweetheart. I misjudge you at the start of the movie, and you annoy me.
You again?
Am I at the bakery that I own? You're learning I have a sweet side to me.
Well, I'm gluten-free. This is the part of the movie where I'm starting to be interested in you.
Well, if love were a pie, I am missing an ingredient. Maybe that's you. You were just using me? To write one of your little New York stories?
Everything I said was true. Everything.
How about you just go back to the city where you came from?
You can't leave tonight. Tomorrow morning's the Cherry Pie 5K. The whole town's gonna be there.
I did the 5K.
I made you this.
Oh, but I'm
gluten-free.
I think this will be my best story yet.
What's wrong with your country? Well, we don't even start by saying the King of Belgium created a slave colony for 30 years. The government of Belgium ran the slave colony for another 40 years. The CIA assassinated your first popular leader, Mr. Lumumba, and then installed another dictatorship for the next 30 years. And then Glencore and others now suck out your cobalt without giving you tax income. We don't reflect on that. We say, what's wrong with you? Why don't you govern properly? What's wrong with your country?
Here's 3 LGBTQ-friendly hotel options in New York City. Number 3, Thompson Central Park, which is super close to Times Square and has incredible views over Central Park itself. And if you book with access to the club lounge, you get food and snacks pretty much all day. Number 2, the Beekman. This is a pretty iconic hotel with a lot of character, a beautiful atrium, and a busy hotel bar and restaurant. It's also right next to Brooklyn Bridge, as is our final hotel at number 1, the Guildhall, which has a more boutique feel, and if you're in the mood to treat yourself, a very spacious penthouse where we spent our final night relaxing before flying home.
Share, subscribe, and share again. Thank you.
Hashtag LiveMikeTV237 at See The Thing Is. Hashtag VerseTV237F.
Why does Keith Sweat say he has to be strong? gotta be strong. But I gotta be strong.
Oh, you did me wrong. Hey. And I thought we were really down.
I thought we were down.
But I gotta be
strong. How long did Tevin Campbell say he wanted to talk?
Oh, a minute. I feel like he's been talking too long. Can we just be like Jill Scott right now and just be silent?
Yes. All right. What does Monica want to do before you walk out of her life?
Only want to make things right.
Oh, and there we go. What was Erykah Badu born underwater with?
$3.06. And for those that don't know what that means, it means that she was created whole. 360.
Oh.
Look at your mind work different, I'll tell you.
All right, Durand Bernard, the exceptional, the exquisite, the what is that word that means the only one? It slipped my mind. Anyway, but yes, as far as the music that he did right there, the Keith Sweat, that was Keith Sweat's Twisted. I love that song. But I gotta be strong. You did me wrong. And I thought we were really down. Now you say, want me now. Ooh, make up your mind. I like Keith Sweat. I do. Anyway. And I don't understand because Durand Bernard, you are a fellow, well, you were a Clevelander. I'm not sure where you live now, but I am a Clevelander, so I can say that we're like Clevelanders to an extent, I guess. I don't know. But currently I live in Cleveland. And I don't understand what you were saying about Tevin Campbell needing to be silent because he's beautiful, he's talented. I don't know what he's been. Now, okay. So I will say this. See, Tevin Campbell is Gen X, and this is why it kind of hurt my heart a little bit when you said that Tevin Campbell needs to just be silent. Because I remember going back, Tevin Campbell's song Back to the World. I remember I was dealing with still, like I was 13 because we still lived in upstate New York. And I feel so happy now knowing that he's living as openly gay because I still remember when I was in college and I read that article that he did on, it was some magazine. And yes, that was back in the day when a number of celebrities, like in order to come out, they had to come out with like some, not by choice, but they would always seem to have some story of getting caught in the woods, sucking somebody's dick. And that was also the case with Tevin Campbell or something ridiculous. Allegedly, and I remember he came out with the Sister to Sister, I think it was, magazine, and again, this was when I was in college, so the early 2000s, and they were like, so Tevin Campbell, are you gay? He's like, I don't know. I mean, I'm like, whatever. The way that I see it, I'm like trisexual. You know, I'm willing to try anything once. And it's like, okay. And I remember that, and that's a thing, and I know this is why that's in the way. Huh. Okay, well, I'll just deal. And yeah. So as far as Tevin Campbell needing to be silent, maybe stuff like that was troublesome, but you have to realize the time, because at that time, not only was I still not out, a lot of people were not out. Like so if I'm gonna name one, I might as well name everybody. So as far as how much time? Okay, I won't. So I will say that I feel that Tevin Campbell being out now is like, and when I went to his Twitter page and all that stuff and saw that, oh, he's got the rainbow flags on it, like it almost made me cry, because it's like, I remember when we both were not out, you know? And it's like, and now we are. Yay, us. Yay, world. Yay, family. Yes. Anyway, a different channel. Anyway, but yeah, as far as Monica, Before You Walk Out of My Life, I love that song, of course. And of course, from her Miss Thing album. Can We Talk was from Tevin Campbell's I'm Ready. Keith Sweat's song Twisted was from, I can't remember it, but that was his, like, that was a huge album. And I have that album, but the title is not coming to mind. And Erykah Badu's 360, well, I Was Born Underwater with $3.06. 360. One, thank you, Durand Bernard. I did not know that's what that meant. Thank you. And that's from her debut album, Baduism. So yeah, all four of these albums are exceptional. Yeah, all four of them. I love them all. I have them all, actually. Anyway, and not just have them all like because of streaming, but like I actually have the physical CDs. Anyway, hashtag Verse TV family. This has been marvelous, marvelous, darling. Simply marvelous. I will talk to you all later. I'm Aaron Mack. This has been week 237. You can find me, Aaron Mack, at versetv.com. That's AARONMCK at VERSTEAV.com. And you know, okay. Now they want me, girl, make up your mind. Keith Sweat really like did that thing. Yes, they all did that thing. Anyway, Aaron Mack at VERSTEAV.com. That's Aaron, AARONMCK at VERSTEAV.com. One more time, and I'm doing it now, 10 years later, actually telling people about it, because I will be honest, y'all. When I released that album first, way back in 2013, again, I just turned 30. I was trying to do it right before, but things ran a little late. But 2013, and I did that album, you know, again, I was thinking that all I need to do, like a Field of Dreams, if you build it, they will come. All I needed to do was just sit it out there, and everybody would just like download. I'm like, well, yeah, I'm giving it away for free, everybody. So be sure to download it. And then nobody downloaded it because I didn't tell anybody about it. And I still remember when the engineer, one of the engineers, sound engineers of the album, his wife asked me, she was like, oh, okay, well, you're definitely going to promote this, right? And I was like, of course, you know, just thinking that like I had a fan base already ready for me and all of that stuff. And even though I hadn't performed and any of that. And when it only had 4 downloads, I was quite disappointed and just stopped singing. And, you know, they say if you don't use it, you lose it. And that's what happened. But then I discovered my Presbyterian church that I still attend to this day. And singing hymns in the church, I started getting my voice back. And then I was like, wow, you know, I can kind of sing or whatever. And I released my second album, well, EP. They're both EPs. And that album, I decided that I was going to be openly same-gender loving. And I am on that album. All of that to say, you can check out both of those albums, please, and thank you. And including the, what am I going to call it? The enhanced copy, the Mariah Carey copy. You know, just do the thing where you add a bunch of extra formerly unreleased tracks that need to see the light of day. You know, Mariah Carey, that song, All I Live For. Yes. All I live for. Oh my gosh, I love that song. Anyway, so there are going to be a couple of songs on my EP that are now, both EPs are on SoundCloud right now. I'm going to add a couple of extra songs to my first EP, my 10-year-old EP. And some of those songs you will also connect with, just like Mariah Carey's All I Live For, that I connect with. And I'm probably going to play it right after this video. Anyway, yes. That or Andre 3000's Flutes. Yes. Anyway, all right. Talk to y'all later. Hashtag VerseTV family. Peace. VerseTV.com. Stay blessed. Hashtag VerseTV. Find us all over social media at VERSTEAV. Hashtag VERSTEAV. www.VERSTEAV.com. Stay blessed. All right.